I never thought a quiet Saturday morning could turn into a full-blown war zone over flowers, mulch, and one extremely entitled HOA president. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 38, recently retired from a government contracting job, and after years of traveling non-stop, I finally settled into what I thought was my dream home, a peaceful suburban neighborhood called Maple Ridge Estates. Manicured lawns, polite neighbors, and, unfortunately, a homeowners association. Now, before anyone says it, yes, I knew HOAs had a reputation. But I figured, how bad could it be? I paid my dues, followed the rules, and kept my property looking better than most houses on the block. Especially my garden. That garden was my pride and joy. I spent months designing it, raised beds made from cedar wood, imported soil, native plants mixed with rare roses, and a small stone path winding through it. Gardening helped me unwind, gave me structure, and honestly, it kept my mind calm after a stressful career. My neighbors loved it. Kids would stop and stare. Elderly couples took evening walks just to pass by it. Even delivery drivers complimented it. Everyone loved it, everyone except her. Enter Karen Whitmore, president of the Maple Ridge HOA. Karen was in her late 50s, platinum blonde hair permanently frozen in a helmet-like style, oversized sunglasses even when it was cloudy, and a voice that sounded like it was always one sentence away from yelling at a manager. She ruled the HOA like a dictator. Pink curtains, violation, mailbox slightly crooked, fine, grass 0.3 inches taller than allowed, warning notice. From day one, Karen didn't like me. Maybe it was because I didn't attend HOA, social mixers. Maybe it was because I politely questioned a parking fine once. Or maybe she just didn't like that people admired my garden more than her sad little lawn. Whatever the reason, she had it out for me. It started small. First, I got a notice saying my garden was non-compliant with neighborhood aesthetic guidelines. I emailed back calmly, attaching the HOA rulebook, highlighting the section that clearly allowed custom landscaping. No response. Then came a second notice. This time, it said my garden was under review, and that changes might be required. Again, I replied politely. Again, silence. Then, one Thursday afternoon, I came home from running errands, and froze. My garden was destroyed, not damaged, not altered, destroyed, plants ripped out by the roots, raised beds smashed apart, soil scattered everywhere like someone had taken a rototiller and gone wild. My rose bushes, worth hundreds of dollars, were snapped clean in half. I just stood there, groceries slipping from my hands, heart pounding. This wasn't vandalism, this was intentional. I rushed to my neighbor Mark's house. He looked uncomfortable when he opened the door. "Dan, I was gonna call you," he said quietly. "What happened?" I asked, already knowing the answer. Mark sighed. "HOA truck came this morning. Karen was with them. She told the crew your garden was an unauthorized structure, and ordered it removed." My hands clenched into fists. She did what? She said it was an emergency compliance action. I didn't even thank him. I walked straight back home, pulled out my phone, and called the HOA office. Karen answered on the second ring. "Maple Ridge HOA, President Whitmore speaking. You destroyed my property," I said, trying, and failing, to stay calm. "Oh, Daniel," she said sweetly. "We removed a violation. You were warned. You had no right," I snapped. "My garden is HOA approved." She laughed. "No, it isn't. And honestly, it was an eyesore. This is a community, not your personal farm." That was it. Something in me snapped. "You'll be hearing from my lawyer," I said. Karen scoffed. "Good luck with that." She hung up. Now here's the thing Karen didn't know. I didn't have a lawyer. I had several. In my previous career, I worked as a federal compliance consultant, specializing in municipal regulations, zoning laws, and, ironically, HOA legal structures. I'd helped dismantle corrupt associations before, and Karen had just handed me the keys. That night, I didn't sleep. Instead, I reviewed the HOA bylaws line by line. I pulled city permits. I checked county property records. I downloaded meeting minutes going back 5 years. And what I found? Oh, Karen had been busy. Unauthorized fines, selective enforcement, illegal use of HOA funds, unapproved landscaping contracts. Guess who owned the company? Her brother-in-law. By sunrise, I had a folder labeled, HOA Whitmore violations. But I wasn't done yet. The next morning, Karen showed up at my house. Unannounced. She stood on my lawn, clipboard in hand, smirking. "I'm here to inspect for further violations," she announced. I smiled. Great timing, I said calmly. You're trespassing. Her smile faded. Excuse me, I've revoked HOA access to my property pending investigation, I said, holding up a printed notice. Also, everything you did yesterday was illegal. She laughed nervously. You can't do that. Oh, I replied, I already did. I pulled out my phone and showed her something. Security footage. From 3 angles. Clear as day. Karen supervising the destruction. Her face went pale. You recorded me. Yes, I said, in the crew, in the truck license plates. She swallowed. This isn't over, she hissed. You're right, I said quietly. It's just beginning. As she stormed off, I looked at my ruined garden, not with sadness anymore, but determination. Karen thought she'd messed with a harmless gardener. She had no idea who she'd just declared war on. The week after my garden was destroyed, the entire neighborhood felt tense. People whispered when I walked past. Some neighbors avoided eye contact. Others quietly gave me thumbs up or murmured, "We're on your side." Everyone knew Karen had crossed a line, but no one had ever dared to challenge her. Until now. On Monday morning, I received an email blast from the HOA. Mandatory HOA meeting, Thursday 6 p.m. Topic: landscaping compliance in recent disputes. Karen thought she was calling me out. What she didn't realize was that she'd just walked straight into a trap. The calm before the storm. I spent the next 3 days preparing. Not emotionally, legally. I organized documents into neat folders. HOA bylaws with highlighted violations. City zoning approvals for my garden. Invoices proving my landscaping was compliant. Security footage screenshots. Bank statements showing misuse of HOA funds. And the most important thing, a formal complaint already filed with the city's housing authority and the state HOA oversight board. Karen had no idea inspectors were already reviewing Maple Ridge Estates. Thursday evening arrived. The HOA meeting room was packed. I'd never seen this many people show up, not even when Karen banned street parking for a week. Karen sat at the front, smug as ever, tapping her pen like a judge about to pass sentence. I sat quietly in the second row, waiting. Karen makes her move. Let's begin, Karen said sharply. We're here to address a homeowner who believes HOA rules don't apply to him. Murmurs filled the room. She looked straight at me. Daniel Carter installed an unauthorized garden structure and refused to comply with multiple warnings. The HOA acted within its rights. I stood up calmly. May I respond? Karen sighed dramatically. Briefly, I walked to the front and plugged in a USB drive. Before I speak, I said, I'd like everyone to see something. The projector flickered to life. The first image appeared. My garden, before destruction. Gasps. Then the next image, Karen standing in my yard, pointing as workers tore everything out. The room exploded. What is that? She ordered that. That's private property. Karen shot to her feet. This is highly inappropriate. Oh, we're just getting started, I said. I played the video. Clear audio. Clear video. Karen's voice echoed through the room. Just remove all of it. He thinks he's special. Silence. Absolute, stunned silence. Karen's face turned bright red. The truth comes out. I turned to the audience. My garden was fully HOA compliant, I said, holding up documents. Here's the approval clause. Here's the city permit. And here's proof that no violation notice was ever legally served. I flipped to the next slide. Now let's talk about selective enforcement. Up came a slideshow of other homes, illegal sheds, unapproved paint colors, oversized patios. No fines, no removals, I continued. Because those homeowners are Karen's friends. Someone shouted from the back, that's my neighbor's shed. Karen screamed, turn that off. I didn't. Next slide. HOA funds. The room leaned in. These landscaping removals were paid for by the HOA, and contracted to Whitmore Property Services. A pause, which happens to be owned by Karen's brother-in-law. That's when everything broke. People started yelling, that's fraud. She stole our money. I paid fines for years. Karen slammed her clipboard down. This meeting is over. No, said a calm voice near the door. Everyone turned. 2 men in suits stood there, badges visible. City Housing Authority, one said. We'll take it from here. Karen's meltdown. Karen's confidence evaporated instantly. You can't just walk in here. She snapped. We can, the second inspector replied. We've received multiple complaints regarding HOA misconduct. They asked Karen for records. She stammered. I don't have them here. That's fine, the inspector said. We'll collect them tomorrow. Karen looked around the room, desperate. No one defended her. Not a single person. She stormed out, heels clicking like gunshots. The fallout: within 2 weeks, everything changed. Karen was removed as HOA president by emergency vote. The HOA board was dissolved pending investigation. Fines issued over the last 3 years were refunded. Karen was fined personally for property damage. And the kicker: she was sued by 3 other homeowners who finally felt safe coming forward. As for my garden, the HOA paid for full restoration, plus damages. I rebuilt it bigger, better, and right in the center, I placed a small stone plaque that read, "Compliance is best served with respect." Neighbors laughed every time they saw it. Karen moved out 3 months later. Rumor has it she tried to run another HOA in a nearby town. Keyword: tried. Final thoughts: I didn't want revenge, I wanted accountability. HOAs only have power because people are afraid to challenge them. Karen thought she could bully anyone she wanted. She was wrong. She messed with the wrong homeowner. And she paid for it.